$300 or something, you know, versus 5 or 8, you know. The flights from California were like...
We are live on the interwebs right now, just so you know.
All right.
Dude, the color on your camera looks crazy.
Mine?
Yeah. I don't know if like it's just me or what, but it's like I'm gonna screenshot this because it's dude, it just went away. Damn it. It looked like a painting like happening.
Putting out the bat signal.
So much work to do.
Same. Does the chat window come up on this Skype thing, or should I have someone else?
No, it'll come up on Skype. We'll see everything from Facebook and YouTube and Periscope and Twitch and stuff.
Copy that. Oh no! I can't remember if I let my dog in.
I just have to go do that. Go do it real quick.
Let me go check.
Cooper! Oh. That's 1, 2, 1, 2. What's up, Chris H?
Yeah, here he is. Thought you were outside for a second. Scared me.
You named your dog. Your dog's name is Cooper.
Yep.
That's what we're naming our new child. When you said Cooper, I was like, oh man.
Cooper just wants to be on the podcast. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
All right. Well, after much pain and suffering due to Windows update that I didn't need,
There's a little
we're back.
or whatever on the.
I'm sure there is, and you know what?
Okay.
You know what? There's a show. So,
Dude, Phil, I have not stopped singing it for days.
can't Mograph
Like,
song.
It's awful.
Yeah. Someone has a ton
Yes.
of fuzz. Like that much fuzz? Really? Is it that much? That bad?
I don't know.
Oh wow, yeah, that's really bad. Okay, hold on, guys, because that's really bad.
It's got to be you, Dave. I know. Hey, at least there's a show. That's all that matters, right?
That's right. The show must go on.
We'll do it live. Oh boy.
I think it's gone. Check 1, 2.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
All right.
Yep, it's gone.
So much technology.
I know, so much technology. There's just more and more stuff to go wrong, right? All right.
Points of failure.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. Uh-oh. Now we can...
What?
That was
just me
a test,
just
right?
testing the stream.
Okay. Make sure.
Oh.
Freaking me out!
Camp Mograph, where we can learn and play.
It's one of those things where, like, you...
Is that the song?
Yeah, Camp Mograph, escape the agency.
Oh, that's hilarious. Wow. I hope there was somebody with an acoustic guitar playing
There was.
that.
There was.
By the campfire.
Well, it was me, Liam, and Wes. We all sang it. Wes was on piano. Liam was on guitar. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
See, now we need to get everyone to actually learn the lyrics, you know, and then we can all sing it in a big group.
Oh my God, yeah. Then you could get like a drone shot pulling away from the top to finish the last song,
Right?
last phrase of the song.
Right?
All right, well, there's a little bit of a buzz, but best I can do right now. It's not as bad as it was, so let's go ahead and start rolling. We'll cut this a little short, obviously, due to the
obviously
terrible technical failures. At one point, my computer today was telling me that I don't have sufficient video card.
I hate that the newest update or whatever changed a bunch of stuff. You know, it's like,
wait, what update changed stuff?
It was the last update or whatever. Like my microphone settings, I got to go to an additional like tab or something. It's dumb. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, it'll be in the welcome packet. We'll have the lyrics. So yeah, everyone can take a picture of it and sing it on their phone. That'd be fun. Yeah. Good idea. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Jeez. Why is there so much feedback?
I don't know.
Welcome to the Mograph.com podcast, where we just spend the next hour and a half troubleshooting things. Thanks, Windows. Thanks, NVIDIA. Thanks, XSplit. XSplit. See, Spider Lord is trying to come onto the podcast. We can't help it. All praise Spider Lord. We are his eyes.
I'm just gonna smile and nod about that one.
We are all embraced by his 8 arms.
Check 1 2. There we go.
Dude, I wish I could show you what your camera is doing right now, but it's crazy. I'm gonna screen cap this.
I saw the other one that you sent.
This one's even better. This one looks like you're like looking up into the air.
Oh, that's rad. Dude, I want to save that. It's my new profile picture.
There you go.
Okay.
What is going on?
My new LinkedIn picture.
People still do LinkedIn, I found out.
I know, right?
All right. I think that's good. I'm going to double check the audio. Why is the metronome going?
What's up, Billy?
Billy's here.
All right, before anything else breaks, let's do a show.
All right.
I got everything recording here. Are you guys recording?
Is the click track playing,
No.
Dave?
It's not.
Okay.
All right, let's do a show. Gosh, I leave
All right.
for a week and the whole entire thing just decides.
Well, it was kind of iffy last week, and then it just, I guess,
Even
crap the bed
even
today.
More crap the bed. All right, is everybody rolling?
Rolling.
Chad, you rolling?
I think so. Yes, I am.
Okay. I would recommend just keeping it up so that you can kind of keep an eye on it.
I can keep it up for a long time.
Cool. Ding. All right, let's do a sync clap. 1 2 3 clap.
All right.
Like that. 1 2 3. I like you've got the ABC shirt and I have the Node computer shirt.
Nice.
Got my Camp Mograph shirt.
All representing.
Yep.
All right. Here goes the show. What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is one of my favorite people in the whole world, Mr. Chad Ashley from Grayscale Gorilla.
Howdy.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us, info@mograph.com, and let us know what you think about the show. Chad is here.
Chad.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Got a little technical problems today?
Man.
We're
Well,
fine. Just working out all them bugs.
Why I don't like to
we're trying to
update
get
things.
this all taken care of, get all the worries and the bugs out first. So then once NAB East time comes along and we got to set up all the live stream for that, we're just like, we're good. We're good. We've
Yeah.
already worked out bugs from previous.
You guys are
Right.
pros at this stuff. It always impresses me.
Thanks. It's all Dave.
I had a little
I'm-
background. I had
I'm
little
just a
background
talking
in it.
head.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm glad you said it.
It's true.
Yeah, I have a long
I am
background in
the
the technical
face.
area.
I am
so.
the face. I'm the
I love
Steve
it.
Jobs. Dave is the Wozniak. So he does all the work.
I'm just gonna call him Waz from now
Yeah.
on.
Right. Man, we really don't have too many topics of discussion for today, and I guess that's good because we're running a little bit late. The main thing, of course, that I want to talk about is your new pack. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is not a part 2 to the previous pack, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, that's something that I think I didn't really anticipate, but I quickly realized that like whatever I did after everyday material collection was going to be seen as like, oh, this is the next thing.
Yeah.
So I had to like once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, this is different. Like this
Yeah.
is not the same thing. But yeah, so it's not a part 2. It's a completely new deal. Yeah, do you guys have you played with it at all? I know the quite a few people that went to Camp Mograph have it. I know Billy.
I saw Billy playing around with it at SIGGRAPH before it was officially released.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't have it yet. Sorry.
Well, we can fix that.
Yeah, let's
Sweet.
fix that.
Fix that today. Yeah. So the pack is, and actually we're calling it a collection, trying to get away from the word pack, just because I think the way that this particular collection works is a bit less about throwing some everyday materials into sort of a collection and more of like a art directed collection, a curated collection of materials that sort of work together.
Yeah.
Top of that, there's like a bunch of really great color palettes that work really great with these materials as well. So you can jump in and start doing this like really modern, fun, clean look in seconds and have like good colors, good, just a really fun aesthetic. And so that it was really fun for me to like take a step back from everyday material collection and sort of think about like, well, what would I want to buy? Like what would interest me in terms of a material collection? And so I'm super into really clean, minimal, fun, modern sort of design aesthetics. And so I wanted to bring that into a material collection. Yeah.
I noticed like I think Rich Nosworthy is really big into this particular style, and he has been for a while. And I'm surprised that I'm surprised y'all are the first one to actually do this, because it has been very popular and it's super clean, super pretty and stuff like that. It's a very neat style. So
yeah, I kind of, when I started playing around with the idea, I didn't know if it was something that was even going to work necessarily. And so then I started building it out and testing it on some different objects and some scenes. And I was like, wow, okay, so this actually is really cool. And because I was already following a lot of those design blogs and just sort of things that are outside of motion design that a lot of this pack sort of comes from. Gotta stop saying pack. And every time I say it, I gotta like put
I'll ding you every time you say pack.
Wear a jar. But yeah, so it was more like I was sort of like in that world already, just from my own interests. So bringing it into more of a 3D motion design world made sense. And then on top of that, I feel like I see a lot now. I feel like it's probably always been there, but I see a lot of this sort of aesthetic in tech company videos and explainer videos and product shots. And so it's a very popular style, and I happen to just love it. So it just came naturally to me. So I jumped into Substance and just started cranking these things out.
It's cool.
So tell us.
Billy,
and there's
really killer stuff for us too.
There's some preset colors as well, like color palettes and stuff, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about how that works.
So the way that cinema works with color palettes is really interesting because I don't think a lot of people know that you can actually, you can create a color palette or you can have one in your like color drop down, but you can actually save these into the content browser. So
Cool.
you can just actually drag them into the content browser, and that becomes a palette that you can then use on other jobs, share with somebody else, whatever you want to do. So I created a ton of color palettes, sort of painstakingly through Adobe Color, and brought them into Cinema, organized them, and then built a couple different variants of these color palettes. Some of them exist as like what I call swatch color palettes, which is sort of like the generic sort of way that Cinema deals with color palettes. And then I save them out also as gradients.
Hmm.
So a gradient with harsh solid lines, no fall off in between the knots,
Right.
so that you can use them with Mograph to do some really interesting stuff. And there's a ton of training that ships with this collection, which is another interesting thing. We wanted to sort of
It's
see
cool.
if we could add like a training component to this, which is in like we haven't done that before. We've had training on like, well, here's how to use the stuff, but I wanted to go deeper and like show people how to use not just the materials, but how to think about ways of getting more out of one material using user data, using
Right.
gradients, and like all this other interesting sort of techniques that maybe don't even have to relate to the material collection itself, but are just fun to learn and like interesting stuff to do.
Hmm. Did you do all the textures in Substance?
Yeah, so the entire I wouldn't say the entire thing, but like most of it is in Substance, and
Hmm.
then a lot of it is also photo based. So it's sort of like if when I'm making a material, I sort of think about like, well, does it make more sense to just go completely procedural and do it in Substance, or does it make more sense
Right.
to go out and shoot it?
Right.
So I don't know if you remember this, but while I was in the middle of this, while I was in the middle of creating this collection, Matt, didn't you ask me if I had a particle board?
Yeah. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Because I was so as stupid as it was, I wanted to build a like a workbench for my garage, like, and so it's a problem because of knowing 3D is because when I want to actually like see what something looks like, I'll just make it myself in 3D. I did that. I built my entire
Yeah.
backyard pool and stuff like that because I wanted to see what it would look like. Then I found out I was thinking too big and it was going to cost a lot of money. But I was building out this, this plywood, wood thing. I was like, oh man, I need some like, some MDF or some particle board or something. I hit you up and I was like, yeah, hey, you need to add this, and you're like, boom, done. Did it in like 3 seconds.
Well, so that's a perfect example of like how I look at a material and decide which path I want to take. So you
Hmm.
said particle board. I happen to have already shot particle board for everyday material collection, but I'd never used it. So it was already sitting in my library. The photos were, and if like you look at particle board, it's like insanely complicated. There's like a
Yes, it is.
bajillion little shapes and little things. So doing something like that procedurally in Substance would be a nightmare and would take a really long time.
Yeah.
But a photo, you got a good camera,
Yep.
just go shoot it, you know.
Hmm.
So I just ended up going not going a procedural route with that one. I just did a photo based version of that.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I choose which direction to go in.
When are we gonna get you to do a class on substance?
That's gonna be dude, I've got so
Just
many
saying.
things.
I mean, you
So many
guys doing all this
things.
training now, right?
I know, like that. I've got a list like this long of things that I want to teach over on Grayscale Gorilla Plus, and it's
Hmm.
just like keeps growing. Like the list just never stops growing, and I don't have a lot of time, so I really got to sit down over the next few months and just really pick what thing I want to do over there. And I'm
Yeah.
actually curious to hear what everybody uh, says, like in the chat. Like if there's, I'm debating, do I want to do like substance stuff, fusion stuff, more lighting, like aesthetic lighting type stuff, like what?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I want to know, like where do I start? Where
Yes.
does everybody want? If you could choose one of those things for me to teach you, let me know because I really need to like start figuring this out.
Yeah.
Well, I saw
I-
how
I
you
don't-
broke down some of that stuff on the Monday meeting, and did you? I seem to remember in the first pack you said something about you started with photos and then you went to procedural, but you ended up doing more photos in this one, right?
This one has actually fewer photos
Oh, okay.
than EMC because EMC, I would say that was made while I was still kind of learning the application, learning Substance Designer. And honestly, like if I could go back, well, that is so strange. Like if I could go back in time and like I would probably do a lot of those materials differently, but you know, you'll live and learn. So I would say that that one has a few more of the photo-based ones, and this new one has a lot more procedural. But then also this new one too, I wanted to start getting away from like straight up only bitmap materials because that can get really limiting.
Mhm.
Like there's materials that I want to make and I want to make for people that you just can't do with just bitmaps, and one of those is like ceramic. So like the ceramic materials that are in this collection actually work with curvature. So you get
Cool.
that nice glaze kind of pooling into the crevices and like pulling away from corners that, you know, just looks like good ceramic. And you just can't do that in Substance because that's more of like a render effect that has to happen in the engine. So yeah, I had to build that in Arnold and like get it to the way I wanted it, and then sort of reverse engineer how to do it in Octane and Redshift.
So it like I know with the everyday material collection, you were able to like actually, I mean, you still had just bitmaps and you were able to download all of them for, you know, your diffuse and your specular and whatever. Are you able to do that with this one?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Okay.
the same workflow. Obviously, some of them have no bitmaps, like I just talked about. Like the
Right.
ceramic doesn't have any bitmaps. The other thing that I made sure of on this one too, that I listened to a lot of people using Everyday Material Collection saying, well, you know, I wish I could change the color of this one. It's kind of limiting that the color's in the bitmap.
Right.
Mhm.
So this new one, anywhere it made sense that I thought people would want to change color, I engineered it so that you'll easily be able to do that. Open up the nodes, find the color node, and just like change the color.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So
I mean, yeah. Whoa.
so what would you say your learning curve was as far as Substance in the first place? I know you did the presentation at DFWC4D, which is really great to see how that breaks down. But you just keep digging further and further. Like somebody who's getting into Substance right now, what would you tell them as far as the learning curve and how hard it is to get into it, to do the things that you're doing?
I mean, it took me a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not an easy program to sort of jump into. But I would say that you can get in there and get what you need done pretty easily. But for me, I had, whoa, thank you for that. That was nice.
Matt's undressing.
Caught a little glimpse of you there. He has no idea
Sorry,
what
I
I'm
know.
saying.
He took off his headphones.
It got really hot.
Yeah. Yeah, so it takes a while. I mean, I took a year to learn it and sort of like built Everyday Material Collection while I was learning it, and I learned a ton. Not everybody has that kind of time, and I don't want to make it sound like you have to spend that much time to get anything done in it, because you don't. I just needed that because I was going to create a bajillion different types of materials.
Mhm.
Like, not everybody's going to jump in and want to make everything. So I would say that it takes a little while. I'm not going to lie. It's not an easy program to just jump into, but I will say this. They have a new not new, I think it's out for a while. They have a playlist on their YouTube channel that is a fantastic sort of intro course, and it's free. And I wish that was around when I started learning it, to be honest, because I was just like fishing around for what I could find online. It was a lot of like really random stuff of like, you know, castle walls and like really dirty looking wood and like shit that I didn't really care about. But this one that they put up there covers all of it. Like you can watch this and have a really good idea of how this program works.
I'm surprised at how quickly Substance has kind of just taken over our industry. You know,
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, and well, yeah, it is. It's a fantastic program. You know, but like, you know, normally you would have this segmentation between, you know, all the different like the big programs, Cinema 4D, you know, 3ds Max, Maya, you know, blah blah blah. But everyone, no matter what they're using, is using Substance. You know, when Dave and I did this portfolio review a few weeks ago here in Dallas with a whole bunch of people, everyone who was like Maya or C4D or 3ds Max, whatever, all of them were working in Substance. You know,
Yeah.
it's very cool.
It's a ubiquitous sort of tool, and it's huge in gaming. It's huge in VFX.
Mhm.
The audience that's using it is just enormous, and
Yeah.
they're coming from everywhere, which is great. And like, yeah, I mean, Adobe now is in charge of it. I feel like I was a little bit nervous about that, but I think that
Still a
kinda
little
really-
nervous about it.
Yeah, I mean, we all are, but I think.
I mean, look at the stuff that's going on. What is it, Venezuela or something?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was reading all about that.
Yeah.
It made it up on Verge, I think.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? But people who don't know, there's
It's there was an executive order. Was it our executive order or their executive order? I don't remember whose. Ours.
ours.
Of course it is. You know, where it caused an issue with Adobe to where Adobe like they can't connect to the Adobe cloud anymore, so they can't get their stuff just doesn't work anymore because
Yeah.
it's all
Sanctions.
subscription based and sanctions and stuff like that.
So they just decided to not offer their services to Venezuela anymore?
No, they were, and they just cut it off. So now no
Right.
one can use Adobe stuff.
Right. And-
Yeah, the way that it's going down is like, I think it has a lot to do with our government not wanting to, basically wanting to punish the socialist government that's in Venezuela, and part of the sanctions are actually having to do with software, which I think there were some appeals that were made for companies trying to make software exempt in the sanctions, but it failed, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they had to turn off Creative Cloud for all of those people. And they didn't really, from what I could tell, there wasn't really much of a warning. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's great.
I wonder what those
Yeah.
people do now. Like,
they torrent
pirate
the-
it.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
pirate
so.
it, you know.
I guess so. That sucks. I mean, you got a. You can't even open the program, I guess.
Nope.
You got all these
Nope.
Photoshop files and stuff you're using, and you just, sorry,
Yep.
man,
Basically.
man.
I wonder, though, if you could use like a VPN or
I was curious about that
Mhm.
myself. Yeah.
like, could you like, is there ways that you could like, I don't really know much about it, but I know they can make it seem like you're in a different part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I used a VPN for a while, you know, to do things. And you know.
That doesn't sound shady at all.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. I know you can set your BitTorrent to be a different VPN. I don't know if you can do it specifically through your whole computer. I'm sure there is. I'm just not that
Were
smart.
you selling black
Yeah.
market guns? That's what you were doing, right?
That was it.
For
Yes.
Bitcoin?
I'm glad. Yes.
Yeah.
For Bitcoin.
I had a
I
feeling.
now own 0.0001 Bitcoin, which is like
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It's just the face. I have that kind of face that says, you know, black market gun salesman.
Yep.
Hey, so
Got that.
on your Instagram story or something this morning, you were hinting at a prize giveaway.
That's right.
Giving away prizes.
Yeah.
Is that why we have more watching live than we've ever
Maybe
had before?
maybe that's why.
They're like, we don't want to hear about Camp Mograph. No, we want to hear about. We want to hear. Give me the money. Show me the money, dude. Show me the money.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna give out Modern Surface Material Collection at the end of the show, and so you better be sticking around and ready, because I'm gonna ask a question, and
Oh,
the first
snap.
person to answer it right in the chat will win the prize.
Oh snap!
All right, everybody,
If
stay
I'm,
tuned.
can I be a part of this since I'm
Nope.
technically into chat too?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, but that you'd probably make a lot of people really mad.
Yeah.
That's all
You
right.
know the line "void were prohibited." That's you.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
We're
Just make it
you.
just make it an old school Simpsons reference, and we'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about doing that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something a little bit different this time. I'm not even gonna tell you what I'm gonna do because I don't want anybody like trying to like figure it out. So it won't be Simpsons related though. I will
Okay.
tell you that.
Shame.
All right.
It's a shame.
Liam,
How's
Liam.
GSG plus? It's GSG plus, right?
Grayscale Gorilla Plus,
Yeah. How's that going?
it's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. We have like we have some pretty big announcements that we're going to be talking about on our podcast, which I think will be out by the end of the week, hopefully.
Cool.
And I think you'll want to hear about what we're going to talk about.
All right.
It's going to be pretty killer.
Sweet.
Pretty killer.
Cool.
Your own 3D animation app, right?
Yeah, just we whip that up. That's
yeah,
no big
just
deal.
real quick.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just did that in my spare time,
Your own render
Well,
engine.
according to our look into the future episode from 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Mograph.com buys you guys at some point.
No,
so,
Brograph.com.
Yeah, technically
our own-
Brograph.
yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So apparently, I
I'm
guess
waiting
that
for that
somewhere
check.
in the next 10 years, we switch back over to Brograph. I guess.
Well, I mean,
Terrible marketing move. Terrible
Yeah.
marketing move.
I'm waiting for that check, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me know.
And we'll get right on that.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys knew this too, but like with Grayscale Gorilla Plus now, you get the Modern Surface Material Collection.
I saw
Mhm.
that. That's cool. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
was just mentioning that in the chat too, which is cool. What do you did you have any problems like you had to make this for multiple render engines, which cannot be
Yeah.
easy.
No, it is not easy.
So, how
It's-
did you
it's
go
hard.
about all of that? Like that what's the
the first
workflow?
round, the Everyday Material Collection, I always do my first round in Arnold because that's my favorite, and I just love it, and I can just get in there and bash everything out really fast. And then when I needed to go to Redshift and Octane, I'm like, dude, I can't do this by myself. There's like 350 friggin' materials in this. So I recruited Liam and Billy to help me. Liam was doing the Octane conversions. Billy was doing the Redshift conversions.
I'm sure Liam loved that.
Oh man, yeah. He and I had some really good conversations about that program. But that one was a bit easier because it was largely bitmap based, right? So it's just
Yeah.
like plug in the bitmaps to the right spots and whatever. But this newer one was a bit more difficult because we're doing some stuff that's like shading specific kind of stuff like curvature and stuff like that. So that needed to be figured out and like try to make it match as close as possible and pick and like there's a bajillion versions of Octane. Like I don't understand their versioning system. Like it just I don't understand it. There's like Octane 3, Octane 4, 2019, 2018.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what to do here. So
And
we
think
sort
about
of
it the way I've heard about it. Think about it like Windows, right? You've got Windows 7, you've got Windows 8, you've got Windows 10, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
they're all continually updating. You know, Windows still gets updates, you know, until they
Mhm.
discontinue them, you know, but they are their own individual version, and that's the way that I've
It's
heard
got
it.
to be a nightmare for them.
I'm
to,
sure it
like,
does. I'm sure
try
it
to,
is,
like,
yeah.
maintain these like. So anyway, we decided we're gonna support 2018 and that whole. What do you call it? Like a fork in their development?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that makes sense, you know.
It's like a
Yeah.
fork in their
That
development.
roadway.
Yeah, because
that,
I
yeah.
think from what I could gather, like that was the roadway that they were going to be putting the most effort into.
Right.
Like, so like
Four
that seemed-
four was basically the last free upgrade from version 3 or something, and then you had to, you know, their new one is 2018, 2019. I don't know what they're calling the next one, whether it's 2020 or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they recently like broke some stuff with materials in
Awesome.
2019.1, but actually they were super cool. Like I got onto an email chain with a bunch of them, and they're like trying to figure out what it was, and they just released the fix for it. So I think it's 2019.1.1.
Okay.
These version numbers that software companies do always like. I'm like, how do you guys even keep this shit straight? It's crazy.
Yeah. 1.1 R3. Release 3. Yeah.
And they all like the other thing that's like kind of crazy, because I have to like stay up to date with like Arnold, Redshift, and Octane, and they all do things differently. They all, the updates are on their forum, or the updates here, or what, and it's just like, what? Like, it gets a little bit crazy. But yeah, it's not like, I'd say that Octane was probably the hardest one to convert for, because they just have such different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
And then they don't have a layer. They don't have a layer node, like a layer sRGB or a layer. So
are they not in the new versions?
I think the new versions in the future are supposed to have it or something.
Yeah.
Jules was talking about
not to worry.
I thought 2019 had it.
It might.
I could be wrong.
I don't think it does, but we do in MSMC, because Liam had an OSL shader.
Oh, rad. Okay.
So,
cool.
So it's in there. So you can use
buy this, and then you got your own layer thing that you can steal from it, right?
Technically, I think that's like, you can get that from anywhere. I think it's Liam might even be able to like. It's sort of a janky solution, as Liam was saying, but like it, and that's like the other thing that sort of annoys me too, is like when companies. I'm gonna get on a soapbox for a minute. I hope that's okay.
It's all right.
I think people lean on OSL to not have to develop their own features, which I think is like pretty lame. I understand why, but at the same time, I don't think you can lean on OSL to bring features to your renderer. I think that should be on you to do that, especially
it's like Adobe not updating any of their not updating After Effects for barely anything, but just being
use
like
plugins.
A scripts has this handled. You know, everyone can just use A scripts.
Right, and I mean, I get it. Like, all these features take money and time to develop, and I totally understand that. But at the same time, I think that there's some core features that are not in some of these renderers that should be, and I want them to be developed by the developer, not by some OSL third-party thing that you got to like worry about. Like, oh, does my render farm have that OSL on there? Oh, how do I like? And so it's just, there's just certain things that I think are fine as OSL, but then there's things that I think should be actually built in to the renderer.
OSL is a little bit frustrating for someone like me, because I'm not a big programmer, and I take a look at that stuff and I'm just like, oh, close the window.
It's super like it. I've done a little bit with it, and when I say a little bit, I've like tweaked an existing one, and that's about the extent of my knowledge. But yeah, I feel like it is pretty powerful. In fact, I was chatting with Trevor Kerr, and he was doing an Octane job, and he was like, I can't find the nodes that I want in Octane because they just don't exist. So I just made them in OSL. I'm like, dude, that's fantastic. Like, that actually, like, send me those. Because I get frustrated in that program all the time of the lack of stuff that I want that isn't there.
And what kind of nodes would those be?
Well, for starters, I'd say that the layer RGB node is huge, and not having that is it's hard to kind of layer textures up in a sort of good way.
Yeah.
I think there's a few others that he made that were like more math nodes that don't exist, and like channel. I want to say there was even some shuffle nodes that he made. Yeah, I'll find out, and I'll circle back and figure out what he was making, because it was pretty interesting. Like, it was like, oh yeah, dude, that's a cool idea. Like, I didn't realize OSL could even do that, but I'll find out and I'll let you guys know.
Cool. So on the topic of render engines, let's do some Ravcock. What's your flavor? I just wanted to talk about the state of some of the engines right now, and we can just go down the list, I guess. And I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about Arnold first because with
Oh
Arnold,
my, that's my
Are you
jam.
allowed to mention what you were mentioning on the Slack?
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing. I think everything I said was like already public knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been a beta tester since a long time, and I'm testing Arnold 6 right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely getting much better.
How's the GPU stuff? Like
Yeah,
I know when you initially were doing the GPU stuff, you're like, there's not a real point because my Threadrippers, you've got what, like a 64 Threadripper or 32 or something like that,
yeah
and it
30.
was still faster, to do it that way.
Well, I'm proud to announce that it's no longer faster. The
Yeah.
GPU version is now beating my Threadripper, and this new version that I think they announced some of these features at SIGGRAPH, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
But they're now doing some deferred texture loading stuff, which is really interesting. So if you
Yeah.
have like a scene with a ton of like really huge textures, like 4K, 8K textures, it's loading them much faster now. So, and that's
cool.
huge for people doing like really big assets and feature films and stuff like that. So that was huge. The GPU speed has increased dramatically. In fact, it's beating Redshift in some certain scenarios.
Really? That's
Oh
that's
yeah,
impressive.
like I have a Cornell box scene that I've been using to test with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically just a Cornell box, red and green on the walls, and then a single area light at the top and a bunch of GI bounces, and it's doing really good compared to Redshift on that. I think it's never gonna beat like a Irradiance point cloud brute force combination in Redshift because that's just
Mm-hmm.
like cheating too much. But it can beat a BF Redshift render in certain scenarios, and then some other scenarios it gets its ass kicked. So
Yeah.
it's like it's sort of like all of
Is
them. They have like their
volumetrics figured out in that?
yeah VDBs are working. Yeah.
Cool. How's it
I
do? How's it do rendering those? Does it take a while? Or
yeah
because
I
I know Redshift is like smoking fast when it comes to volumetrics and stuff. It's
this
faster
is
than Octane.
Faster than Octane. Yeah.
Yeah.
well I was stress testing it. I was using the Disney Cloud,
Uh-huh.
which is like I think it's like a couple gigs of this gigantic, amazingly dense VDB cloud that Disney put out for free that you can download and play with it. And I don't think that I would render that on GPU. I still think like a dense VDB cloud like that is probably still better on CPU because it struggles. Even I think I tried to render it in Redshift and it just kept crashing. I didn't try it in Octane though. But yeah, I would say that for VDBs, I would probably still use the CPU version of Arnold until they've maybe got some more optimizations in place.
But what about
But
the
yeah,
volumetric, just like fog in general, not necessarily
oh yeah,
VDB?
that's fast. That's fast as hell.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you want to throw like atmosphere on a light or fog in your scene, yeah, that's totally fine.
Cool.
Because
But the fact you can
Mhm.
swap between like while the IPR is going, you can literally change from CPU to GPU without stopping, and
That's cool.
it'll keep refining. So that's actually pretty rad. Like if you're in a situation where you're like, GPU just doesn't make sense for this, I'm gonna switch to CPU, and like you
Mhm.
don't even have to like restart. You don't have to do anything weird. You can just swap.
Yeah. And is it 1-to-1? Is it looking exactly 1-to-1?
Yeah, it's 1-to-1. I think that there's differences in how it samples. So you're not going to. I wouldn't recommend like trying to render 30 frames on CPU and then the next 30 on GPU because to get 1-to-1 on a sampling sort of like perspective,
Mm-hmm.
your CPU version would have to have a shitload of camera AA samples, and it would just like it would just take forever. It's no point in doing that. But from like a look perspective, there's no difference.
Cool.
Features, I think they're like hovering around the 85% feature parity right now. But their main goal right now is to get that to 1-to-1 in terms of features.
Cool.
Yeah.
When did they release 5? When was that released?
Like a year ago, I think.
Okay.
Some maybe more. I think they've
Yeah.
come out with quite a bit since then. But yeah, it's definitely improving, and I just love the fact that you can switch back and forth. So I can like render on my GPU doing look dev, and then throw it to Pixel CPU
Mm-hmm.
and take
Mhm.
advantage of like their huge, awesome farm that's cheaper than a GPU farm. And yeah,
It's so hard to
Cool.
get that correct, to get it to match CPU GPU. It's no wonder it's taken them so long at this point. I don't. They've been talking about it for quite a few years now, I guess, at this
Yeah.
point.
yeah. I think they actually underestimated to like how long it was.
I
And
think that's every render engine we talk about.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I think that- yeah,
that'll
that's
take
true.
20 minutes, right? I'll
yeah,
do
that's
this.
like the through line, like Redshift 3 and like all that stuff. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it always takes longer than you think. I will say though that like I'm really happy that they're not saying I'm really glad that they put the beta tag name on
Uh-huh.
it, because I think
Mhm.
that had they said like, oh yeah, this is it, check it out,
This is
here it
production
is,
ready, yeah.
and then everybody would be like, this is trash, like it's crashing, it's slow, or whatever. The beginning of that renderer on GPU was not good, and so by putting that beta name on it, it sort of like forces people to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't use this in production.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many products that come out like that and they're not ready, and everybody gets upset at them. It's almost like these
I
games that
think
come
you got-
out that aren't
You got
ready.
one chance. You got one chance to like wow everyone, and if
Yeah.
you don't get that right, then you're gonna lose out.
It's like the gaming
Yeah.
industry, because they will come out with games that aren't ready yet. They're like, we'll just do an update later. It used to not be a thing, because if you had to have a gold master, it had to be right.
Yeah.
There was no update later. So people have gotten used to just throwing stuff out there that's not ready for prime time yet. So that's good.
Yeah, and I think when you're dealing with a renderer like Arnold that is like in so many movie studios and it ships with Maya and Max, that it's under way more scrutiny from like a bulletproof production sort of perspective. Like they can't release janky features or crashy stuff because there's, gigantic studios that are depending on it completely. So yeah, they have to be more careful, which is it's just I'm glad they do. They don't release updates unless they're bulletproof, and I really respect that.
Yeah. That's good.
We
That's
talked
good.
about
It's not this yearly have to update and release type thing,
Right.
I guess. Like
And-
Adobe does.
Yeah, I'm not the whole thing of like updating. That's the other thing that frustrated me about Redshift too, is like the constant updates. It was like,
Yeah.
well, it's slowed down now. I'd say like it's pretty manageable now, but for a while there, it was like, this is not like, we don't need a version every 2 weeks if it's gonna crash or not work properly or whatever. Like we can wait a month for it to be stable.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And we talked about Octane a little bit, but what about Redshift? Do you still use Redshift besides making your pack? Do you use it for anything else? I'm sorry, I said
Yeah,
packs, collections.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I use it. I sort of like, I use it mostly for stuff that I just need to do quickly, or sort of like the more motion design, shiny type stuff. And I tend to like use it for logos and title work and shiny, like I said, shiny stuff. And then I use Arnold for like more of my filmic photoreal type of stuff. And which I used to use a mixture of Octane and Arnold for that, but now lately it's just been more Arnold for that. I haven't really played with Octane that much lately, except for to test materials and stuff, but I still think that renderer probably looks the best of all of them. But yeah, it's just the features. I can't deal with the Can't deal with the lack of features.
Dave, I just put a link in there. Will you add this to the links? Because this is a freaking fantastic link.
What is it? give me some context here.
It's the real fake cameras of Toy Story 4.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Real
Dude,
fake.
that like brings a tear to my eye. It's like, oh, people really care, you know?
Yeah. No, that stuff is so great.
Dude. And
Yeah,
actually there was a person on Reddit who was like who actually worked on that scene, the one that they were breaking down, you know, talking about how he actually did it, you know? And it was like so happy that someone noticed, you know, their work, you know, because it's such a like, I mean, we can basically do anything we want in 3D. Why would we replicate, you know, like a real life camera and stuff like that, you know? But I don't know.
Well, here's
cool.
the real. If you haven't checked it out,
Yeah.
go watch it. But the question that I have for you guys in the audience is, do you think that effect was in camera or in comp?
Oh, it was in camera. It was in camera. He had to specifically change the code in whatchamacallit? In RenderMan in order to like get it correct. It's very cool.
I love that, but man, that could have just been done in comp.
I know, it really could have. It really
Like
could
the
have.
production artist in me is like, really?
Yeah.
But I love that they did that because that is pretty amazing.
So they
This
did
also
virtual
talks
cameras.
about
I had a virtual camera.
No, this
pig.
is talking about like this particular part right here is talking about Billy, we're talking about the split diopter focus thing. Yeah. So this one is talking about, you know, what you're watching right now is how the guy actually came up with like using handheld stuff so that you can mimic that real life camera movement and camera shake and stuff like that. But within Toy Story 4, there was a shot where they actually used like a split diopter focus thing where you had one thing the foreground in focus and kind of the character in the background in focus, and like you had this middle area that kind of wasn't in focus and stuff. It's very cool. It's a very, very cool thing. And they're talking about like the that they actually made anamorphic lenses in Toy Story 4, you know, and you can tell because of the bokeh in it was like oval
Right
shaped
there.
instead
If
of
you
like
pause that shot,
circular.
you pause that like opening shot of right there, if like on the
Like,
where it's like out of
right as
right
it
when
out
it's
of-
out
yeah.
of focus. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can see
yeah.
the bokeh is actually like oval instead of circular because they were actually building these real life anamorphic lenses to go, you know, into the computer. And it's like the fact that they're even doing that stuff, like, I don't know, that's insane, you know? It seems overkill, but I mean, I think
I
it
don't
makes
think
it
so.
feel so much more realistic, you know?
I want all of those features in
Yeah,
every
see,
picture.
this is
there's
showing
that-
off what a
this is-
split diopter
Oh,
lens will do.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
So that it's basically
real
like the lens that has like two halves to it, and
Hmm.
you can basically have different focal lengths on each side of the frame. But yeah, this is the shot in particular, this sequence right here.
I loved that, and they talked about like creating a different, that shot right there. So you kind of see the blurriness in between and stuff like that. But I loved that they were talking about like, you know, creating a feeling with the lenses and stuff like that, where there was a shot back and forth between Buzz and Bo Peep, and the shot of Buzz was like in focus and everything was good, and then you go back to Bo Peep and it's like everything is like super shallow depth of field, you know, you get this beautiful bokeh and stuff like that, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah, they shot Bo Peep with anamorphic lenses, and I think they just shot Woody with like just primes. And
Yeah.
I want like I was talking to I was talking to somebody who's building a thin lens shader for Arnold to do a lot of these like camera effects, and I would love to see all of the renderers do this stuff and like have like cat's eye settings on bokeh and like really try to like bring a physicality to lensing in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Billy was saying it was assigning the focus distance per pixel for it, you know, so he had to actually go through and change the code and stuff like that. It's very cool. Very cool.
I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know well enough, but yeah, I think I think you're going to start to see a lot of like these camera lens tweaks in 3D.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be dope.
super
Trying
dope.
to do the Redshift Arnold thing. Feel I think there's a lot of people that are Redshift Octane people that kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I need like, I don't know, if I need quick clean renders with a big scene, I'll go Redshift. If I need, super photorealistic quick renders, with not a huge scene, I'll go Octane.
Yeah, that's almost the exact same workflow that I use.
Yeah.
But I don't. I tend to use the Arnold because the Arnold, because of the features. Then I can just like, I don't have to like struggle with the shading. I know how to get that to do what I want it to do.
There goes Dave. His audio's
He's
out.
out.
He's like, all right, screw this, I'm out. He just walked away.
That was amazing.
Sorry.
Well, he was saying some really poignant stuff. Too.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
too.
really, it kind of changed my whole life.
Yeah, I'm gonna
with
have
the
to take
things
a
that
minute.
he was saying.
It's gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna need to like write that down.
Yep.
Question my whole reaction. Are you back now?
Well, not.
Chad.
What's going on, chat room?
Check. 1 2 1 2. One two. One more time. 1 2. Yeah. All right. Well, we can finish with my audio on the webcam. How about that? Because I don't know what else to do. Because technology is great, isn't it? You just don't touch it and then it stops working for no reason. All right. Anyway. Great, isn't it? Yeah, we'll use my webcam audio. So professional. Anyway. Yes, that one is fine. It's just the stream audio. It's just analog adapter that decided just it wasn't going to work anymore. So anyway, I wanted to talk about oh my gosh. Mm. Check. Two. Say something. Right. So I did change. All right. Go.
Gosh, yeah, I can relate.
Sorry, Chad.
Oh, that's okay.
You're like, you're just taking up all my time. You know, time is precious here.
I mean, you could probably hear my stomach growling. Like that's the only thing that
go get
is
some
like,
food, dude.
I might have to go grab the
You're all
sandwich.
back. And
All right.
Chad, we back, yo. We're back. Audio too.
You can probably hear my stomach.
Everything is
growling.
back
Okay.
exactly where it was.
Food, dude. I'd have to go grab. We're all back. And Chad, we back, yo. We're back. Audio too.
Spider Lord has been pushed back to the depths. Thank you,
Okay.
Spider
Well,
Lord.
this is good because now like only the true diehards are still in the chat
Right?
and have a
And
potential.
guess what?
to win.
Nothing has changed. All the settings are exactly where they were when they stopped working.
Yep. It's okay.
Someday technology will be good enough to work more than a week without screwing up. All right.
I can hear. Yeah, that's fine, Billy. That'll go away. He was just checking the stream to make sure that we could hear it.
Okay. Let's continue on wherever we were.
So, like we were saying before we got chopped up, Mograph.com is buying Grayscale Gorilla. No, not.
Inked the deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
All hail.
All hail Spider Lord.
Yeah, whatever that thing is, sure.
All hail Spider Lord. We are his eyes. Let him embrace us with his 8 arms.
Nice.
Yeah.
His
So
cold embrace.
I'll just have to finish off the show on the webcam mic. Oh well. I got some maintenance to do the rest of my afternoon apparently because we got another show tomorrow.
Yay.
All right.
Yep.
So let's do this. Let's talk about some links real quick because I have no idea where we were or what we were talking about.
I think we were talking about the link, that one link with the the Toy Story 4 stuff.
Oh,
So
that's
Talking about
yeah.
cameras and rendering and Octane for photoreal and Redshift for not photoreal.
That's
and
right. I know what I was going to ask you. I was saying that people are very, very much like Arnold Redshift people or Redshift Octane people, I think, when it comes to that, because they kind of do the same thing. There was a post that that Smearballs posted the other day.
I love that one.
Oh yeah.
With the
Did
Ken
I show you
doll.
what I replied to him with?
No, what'd you say?
Oh, dude, let me see if I can find it.
Is
If I-
that did you reply in Twitter?
On Twitter? I could probably find it.
Oh no, I hit him on Instagram with it.
Oh.
But
Oh,
I'll
okay.
send you this image really quickly here, because as soon as he posted it, I replied with it. I'm like, bruh, you gotta add this. So where should I send this? Should I send this to you in Slack?
Yeah, you were on Skype. One of the two.
Oh, it's on my phone, so I'll have to do it on. I'm gonna do it on
Oh, that's fine.
Slack.
You can Slack it to me.
All right, I'll just Slack it to you. Man, there's a lot of names in here that I don't know.
A lot of channels. They just
there's
started
a
like
lot of channels.
3 new channels today.
How do I is there a way to search?
What?
Oh yeah, I can. Look at that. Nothing. I'm just teaching myself how to use Slack on my phone apparently.
Well, I think he posted that because Redshift, by default, is harder to get to that look, that octane.
Yeah, that photorealistic. I mean, you got to add a few more tips and tricks in
All right,
order.
so
Okay,
Dave, I sent it to you.
there we go. And then you posted this. Here we go. It's pretty good.
It's very good.
It's
Very
pretty
good. I like that.
But it really,
Oh, no.
if you put those 3 next to each other, it's actually pretty accurate.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you think about what Nick was saying, Redshift sort of looks plasticky sometimes, and there's things you can do to make it not look like that and whatnot. And then our Octane has that faux pretty look, and then the one I posted is just brute strength.
Yeah.
That's kind of pretty accurate if you think about it.
Yeah, and then the Halloween episode when of The Simpsons when Bart tries to turn something into a frog and it just turns out to be just a frog that's vomiting.
Please kill me.
I'm an abomination.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pro render.
Oh. Oh.
Dang.
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 Uh,
It's every moment I live is agony. So good.
Get in there, defend my honor.
Poor ProRes.
Oh god.
Man, we are 9 days off from our Simpsons Halloween stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've been
Yeah.
watching. No, I'm a hit.
Oh, well, I haven't. Okay, never mind.
Dude, the Halloween episodes are the best.
Yes, they are. And we're at exactly 31 days and 31 episodes now.
Now, is that counting the episode that is a
Yes.
Halloween episode?
Yes,
not
yes, it is
necessarily
counting that one.
a treehouse.
I mean, you're just celebrating Halloween,
Okay.
So you got
Okay,
to.
good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I need to go watch those again.
Yeah.
You should be.
So
You should be on the 9th episode right now at this point because it's the 9th day of October.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's talk about some links and things. And I feel like we're gonna push our luck if we try to go much longer.
Yeah, right.
So
Welcome to our 40-minute episode.
welcome to my personal tech hell live on the internet. All right. Let's talk about some links. NASA released a 3D map of the moon for CG artists.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
creators.
cool. That's super cool. I haven't
Yeah.
looked at it. Have you
I
looked
saw
at it?
some people were working with it on the Octane group.
That's
on
cool.
Facebook
I think
the
you can see the footsteps on there. It's
Really?
pretty high res. No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I was about to say. I thought they lost track of the footsteps or something like that.
That'd be pretty
Wow.
funny if you could fake it though.
Yeah.
That's I don't think there's enough VRAM to load a texture that big.
Yeah, probably
You
not.
might have,
Yeah, but I mean, you could I don't know,
that's a
do
lot
like
of outer
the
core.
Google Map thing does, where it just gets sharper and sharper. You know what I'm saying?
See, now that's
I don't know,
something
maybe-
I want to see integrated into render engines a little bit
Mhm.
more, like LOD
Like the
for
LOD
textures.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
that would be really nice, and it can load it differently depending on how close you are to save you VRAM.
Hmm.
Well, that's
See.
how mip mapping works. I mean, they're doing that now to a certain extent. I think
Mhm.
that's just inherent. But yeah, I feel like some level detail would be nice. Speaking of game engines, who here has been messing with Unreal?
I haven't. I would like to. Have you been playing with it?
I want to so badly.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it more and more, and the more stuff I see with it, the more I'm like, oh, okay, like this is something that could be how everybody finishes one day. Like you're just animating in whatever program, and then you're rendering and doing all your finishing in Unreal. Like that could totally be a thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna try to learn it this year, I think, or maybe next year.
I think it's something important to know.
I'll give you $20 if you do.
Done. That's a deal. See, I'm already sponsored to learn it. So
yeah, there you go. There you go. What's up, Bob? Hey, thanks for sponsoring Camp Mograph. Y'all are amazing.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate
Bob.
that.
Yeah.
His voice is so smooth.
So smooth. So soothing. Yeah.
All right. So the only other link I have is for Lockdown. So many people have been talking about Lockdown and like sending us links and all of that. Chad, have you seen Lockdown yet?
No, what's that?
Oh man. I'm gonna load this up so you can see.
New Body Count album?
This is the new hotness right here in tracking. And it's on 8.
Oh yeah, I have seen this. Yeah, is that the one with the like rhino and like Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super.
It is pretty spectacular. Of course, we've been running around like crazy. Really haven't had time to play with it. But I've been watching videos and I really want to get my hands on this because the difference is the way that it does this. I guess it's creating kind of a mesh.
Yeah.
But when you look at things like cloth and tracking that cloth, and let's say you want to just put an overlay of a title or something on cloth, it's actually tracking the folds and all the other things. And man, I don't know what secret sauce is behind this, and I don't know personally because I haven't played with it. Like, it's one of those things where you see like a demo video and you're like, oh, that's all well and good, but what happens when you start practical and you try and do something? Is this footage the best of the best that they decided to put online, or does everything work this way?
Teddy was saying it's pretty legit.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like you're tracking a point cloud, you're generating geo from the point cloud, and the point cloud is, the geo is moving, it's tracking along with the subject. So I think what's interesting to me about the applications isn't necessarily like throwing tattoos on a rhino, but replacing things or painting stuff out.
Yeah.
Because there's a section in that you can see, like if you go back to the part where they're showing the rhino, once you sheep butt. Once you track it and you get a stable version of the rhino, they show at one point in the video they show the rhino not moving, which is basically a stabilized point cloud geo sort of like tracking, right? So imagine like you're doing like a cereal commercial or something right there.
Yeah.
So and they accidentally put the wrong name on the box or something like that. We've all had to do those shots where we had to like paint out a stupid label that wasn't supposed to be there, or a tracking marker or something. But what this allows you to do is essentially track that rhino, stabilize it, paint out whatever mistake was on the rhino, and then just like put it back on.
It's similar to Mocha Import Plus.
We used
to use that all the time, where we would basically Mocha track something like a sign or something like that, and then just change it, and it would it'd create a pre-comp, a stabilized pre-comp, and then you just do it right in the pre-comp. It's pretty cool.
But that's based on Mocha Import. I'm sorry, that's based on Mocha, and then stabilizing what you get from Mocha. This seems like the tracking aspect of it is a lot more intricate when it comes to like it. I don't know. It's figuring out a point cloud of what is being tracked. I don't quite understand.
The Mocha thing that you described is that's like exactly like how you would do it, but doing it on something that's warping and moving, like that's where this thing is like, okay, like that's pretty cool.
I guess it's taking these tries. I guess it's basically doing almost like it's doing a track for every 3 sets of points. Or that's what it seems like. So you've got like a triangle, and from frame to frame, it's changing the points of that triangle.
Yeah,
know,
so
as a
a
track.
lot of the tracking programs will give you a mesh on whatever it's tracked,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really what this is doing. But it's not necessarily a static mesh. Now this is moving, which is interesting to me. I wonder if there's any like smoothing that you can do to it, or what sort of controls you have if you have a tracking marker that is bad at some frame. Like, can you like turn it off for a frame and turn it back
Right.
on? Yeah, it's interesting. I'm surprised that nothing like this actually came out before. Like, it seems like something that would have been out there, but
Yeah, or that Adobe would have actually oh no, never mind.
so I would guess that like
It's
in a
probably
few-
why they don't sponsor any of our stuff, because I just badmouth them the whole time.
that and ProRender, they're not going to be making any sponsorships.
Professional render.
I wouldn't be surprised if like that plugin gets bought by somebody big.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising.
It
All
should
right.
be.
$20 billion.
There we
Mhm.
go. Well, let's do this. Let's go to some people's people, and then I have a question from somebody that they sent in, and then we'll do the little contest deal. And
Sweet.
hope that everything keeps working in that time.
And we'll have an hour-long show.
Well, there we
Sweet.
go. Right. No, we're not doing too bad. I think we'll hit an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So take out
fine.
your Beeple viewer of choice. For me, this is Twitter.
I think he's just testing us right now. He's like, I want to see what kind of crap these guys will put on the show.
Yes, just for us. Not.
It is
Yes,
just for us.
It's just
you
for
know?
us. Yeah. I'm looking right now. He's got this Zuckerberg thing. This wasn't up here when I was doing show notes. But, all right, take out your Beeple viewer of choice. We're going to go to October 4th, Year of our Lord 2019. And this one is called Unhide. Can't
Year of our
see.
Spider Lord, of course.
Yeah. Unhide. Now, this one is not Disney or nipple related in any way.
Or is it?
Yeah. I mean, technically, there's maybe some nipples on that Viking, but you can't see them. He's doing some medieval stuff recently, which I'm digging, and I don't know what he's using for this painted effect, but it sure looks pretty.
Oh, I was looking at the Facebook swinging boobies one that he
Yeah.
just posted.
So weird.
I'm like, what are you talking about, a Viking, dude? I don't see a Viking in here.
Yeah, this is October 4th, I think. Sometimes the dates are off from like platform to platform. It's really weird.
Right,
But,
right.
This painted look, like, I really want to pick his brain on this, because I'm like, okay, how much of this painting was done in Photoshop? How much of it was done in the render engine? It's so hard to
He
tell.
does it all in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like, he has like a whole like plugin suite for doing this sort of look, the painting look.
Yeah.
But he's been doing so much with the illustrative look and different engines lately. Has he been using some Arnold in there too?
He does
I
a
don't
lot
think so.
of Arnold Toon. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of his Toon stuff is Arnold.
I think it's mostly Octane though. Like, unless you see specific tune stuff, it's Octane.
Yeah, exactly. I think he uses Arnold Toon, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And then October 6th, it's Great Leader Rejuvenation Day. And again, with the Kim Jong and he's been doing a lot of Trump stuff too. And I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, why so much Trump stuff? There's been a lot of Trump heads, but I'm also trying to figure out, like, on this one, he did another, he does like the video version of things or whatever. He did a video version of this one, but he changed the head to be Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the video version or whatever.
Where did it go?
I don't know. Probably got taken down by Disney.
It was there this morning.
I see it I'm on Twitter. It's on Twitter.
You're on Twitter right now.
Oh, I'm not looking at what you guys are.
Disney Plus.
That's why.
This
This media
okay.
may contain sensitive material. Okay, here we go. Now it's working.
Yeah, you guys are just got your parent
Right,
flags
because it's
on.
got
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse head. That's why it's sensitive, you know. But the
Yes.
one down below it is fine.
Now,
I love
think...
the inverted flag.
Oh gosh, yeah. I didn't notice that.
That's funny.
So it's the same rig with the Kim Jong, but it's got the head. Also, I believe that this is the rig with the people at the bottom that he was using with the baby Trump in the jar a while back. Isn't it? Remember, like, all the people at the bottom?
Yeah, probably.
We were talking about, like, who they were and why they were... Gosh, I didn't think
Let's
it was
see
that far.
which Trump one.
Good lord. See all the... Okay, this one has all the little people on the bottom. But there was another one, I believe it was the same exact rig. But yeah, here it is. It's the Kim Jong-un cybernetic F farm. It's like the people all around the little rotatey thing, and they're all like monitoring whatever's going on. How come he's not getting flagged? Like, are people not getting upset about this? That's what I don't get.
It's free speech, dude.
Yeah.
Is it considered parody though?
Yeah, it's all satire.
It's satire to use, like, so to use the Mark Zuckerberg head is one thing, but like Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh and all these Disney, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if he had a few cease and desists in his inbox.
Right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe.
Well, then October 8th is the last one, and that's the animated version that he just released of this. And this is Zuckerberg Nipple-Free Utopia.
As long as it's nipple free.
It is nipple-free,
goodness.
though. It is nipple-free. He's got...
Does it have to be nipple free? Otherwise it gets flagged or something?
I mean,
I
it
don't
depends.
know.
If it's female nipples, yes, it will get flagged. If it's male nipples, apparently it's okay.
But if Zuckerberg is the cyborg with the nipples, does that mean that it's male nipples?
I don't know. It just seems like a slippery slope.
There's like a whole there's a whole legislation that needs to be written on these specific topics of what you can and can't do on the internet, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to ask this guy what's going on with this next time we see him. Next time he's on the show. It's just, it's a, you know, we had a story before about what was going on, and now it's just kind of like, I don't even know how to relate this to the story. Is this another universe? Is this a different people verse?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are you guys going to go to Control Z? You can go ask him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I am.
We've asked him multiple times. He has no answer.
Oh, no?
I don't know.
I'll ask him right now. What's he doing?
Are you going to Control Z, Chad?
Yeah.
I was going to go, and then I thought it was on the 19th, and it's not. It's this Friday. And then I was like, I was traveling so much with the Maxon stuff and other things that I decided not to go.
Are you going to go to the Colorado Maxon?
I've been hearing that one's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of thinking I might go, but then I'm is there going to be a party or anything, or is it just going to be the roadshow thingy?
We will make a party.
We will have a party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because
we'll be there. The REFs will be there.
I don't want to go there.
Will be there.
You know, sitting around and like no party, because like, you know, if I see you guys, I'm going to want to party. So.
Oh, there'll definitely be a party.
All right, then I'm probably going to go.
Cool.
You should.
All right, well, let me get to this question before we take another technical dump here. And this is from Julian, and cannot pronounce your last name. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at that. Zylinski. I think I'm pretty close on that one, though. All right, the subject is, and hopefully this makes sense here. The subject is how to price licenses. And I was like, okay, I don't quite understand, but okay. Hello, guys. I am Julian from Germany. First off, big thanks for doing your podcast. I already learned so much from it. You guys rock. My question, I recently got an inquiry from a client who wanted a quote for a 1-year license and a perpetual license for my work. I honestly have no idea how to price that kind of stuff, and it would be greatly appreciated if you could answer the question on how to price a license somehow. So what I'm getting from this is like this person did a piece of work, and someone inquired and said, I want to use that piece of work for something.
The absolute get as much money as they possibly can for it. I mean, honestly, find out what their budget is, and if what their budget is for wanting to spend it is, just say, I don't know, what do you guys want to license this out for? How much? And then, whatever they say, raise it 25%. Or something like that. I don't know.
A good example would be like Beeple was working on something, right? And Louis Vuitton comes to him and says, hey, we'd like to use some of your work for our clothing. And he's like,
Right.
okay. And he presents them with the number. So, and then a perpetual license, I don't even know. I mean, I guess you could just say year over year. Seems like that would be the way to do that. Once you establish what a year is, unless they want to do like a buyout. It seems like a buyout would be a professional license.
So
I mean, I'm pretty sure like Louis Vuitton actually owns that artwork now that people did. Those dailies, like they own those. They bought the full rights to them.
Right. So Billy was just saying in the chat that I was going to suggest as well is Joey Camacho has a company specifically made to help artists navigate the licensing of their work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so if you're a daily person that's getting some traction and you're getting approached, like if you go check out what Joey and his company is doing,
I think that's what
it's a cool idea.
Yeah. Licensing platform for advanced digital creators.
There you go.
Avant form. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing. If it's perpetual, it's almost like, you just charge them what you would charge to do the actual work, it seems like. But as far as licensing, that's such a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this looks like a really good resource. The world of digital art is in demand and ready for a licensing platform that caters to the needs, pricing, and support of advanced assets. I Want Form is a collective of industry veterans looking to promote your work to the world's top leading brands, bring fair market value, and create a search experience customized to help clients discover and license your work. That sounds right up your alley there. And you know what? I believe I have seen this before because I'm recognizing some of these people on this site. Philip Hodas, who does like the rundown, like Pac-Man, and I think he did like McDonald's and some other things, like rundown restaurants and stuff. Beeple's on here. Joseph Bashira, Kid Mograph. So it really looks like this is a great resource. I think that would be a really good first place to start if you're looking to do that. So, yeah.
Good luck. That's a cool gig if you can get it. Basically, getting paid to make the stuff you want to make.
Yeah. James in the chat said it'd be cool if you could break down one of the materials. We are recording for audio, so what I would say though is you were on Monday meeting not too long ago, and you did a little bit of breakdown on that, which is great. And so make sure you check that out. I'll try and put a link to that in show notes as well.
Check that out, or come join us on Grayscale Gorilla Plus. I'm going to try to do a lot more stuff in Substance over there. So
cool.
All
right. Well, shall we do the little contesty thing here before we?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's first one to answer, right?
First one to answer the correct answer, not just a answer.
In the chat. Okay.
In the chat. Now, I'm going to be watching the chat as it comes through you guys.
Yes. Okay. I think most people are on YouTube. I haven't seen anyone, but who knows? They may.
Yeah. But everything will come through on this chat, so.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to find my answer. Okay.
All right.
Hopefully you can't see that in the reflection of my glasses, but we'll just say that's the one. All right. Are you ready?
All right.
Hold on.
Yes,
Is our chat working? Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all
Yeah.
coming.
Everybody's just randomly.
Pre-answers.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, here we go. Who can tell me the name of the founder of Algorithmic?
Furiously Googling. Everybody is furiously Googling at this point.
Adobe. And I misspelled
Johnny
it too.
Adobe.
Ad
Adbo.
Bowie is what I said. Ad Bowie. Oh man, no one yet?
No, nobody, huh?
I think it's probably there's a delay, maybe.
That French dude.
Max on Rick
Oh,
says he knows it.
Rick knows it.
Wait. What? Joey? Did Joey
Ah, there we go. We got a winner. Winner, chicken dinner.
There we go.
get it? All right.
Joey.
Wow. That's crazy. It
Uh,
actually showed up on our chat here before it showed up on the YouTube one.
Wow.
That's funny.
Inside job. All right, somebody
man.
write that dude's name down. Somebody over there. I can't
Joey?
even grab.
Joey, right?
Joey Joey, if you're listening, please.
Joey, message. Can he? Yeah.
So Joey's in
Just
in our Slack, right?
All right,
I
Joey,
think
if you're
so.
if you're in the Mograph Slack, DM me later today, and I'll take
Yeah.
care of you.
Yeah, get all
Joey's
up
in
in their DMs. There you go. All right. Cool.
Nice-
Congrats,
nicely
Joey.
done.
Sweet.
Nice job, Joey. Got some materials
You are-
coming your
You
way.
are the fastest Googler.
right?
Google
Oh.
for the win. Yeah.
So in case you didn't see the answer, his name is Sebastian De Guy, and he is super smart.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think we're going to get out of here while we're still ahead. I'm super
Yeah,
excited that we're at least still broadcasting at this point.
Yep.
So looks like I got my work ahead of me. Chad, thank you for
Yeah,
sticking
man.
with us.
It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is always a blast. Thanks again, guys. This is great.
We definitely need to do another episode when everything is fixed up here, maybe in the winter time, for sure.
Sure.
Phil said
Sure.
I couldn't spell algorithmic. That's funny.
Chad, what other things are you going to here coming up? NAB East? Or
No, I'm skipping NAB East. I was gonna go to Control Z, but I told you about how I messed that up. I'll probably go to Denver.
Yeah, come to Denver.
Yeah.
And then over the winter, I sort of stay home a lot, and then I usually try to have like one trip to LA over the winter
Mhm.
to visit friends and studios and stuff, and then it's NAB time. But I don't know, something always comes up between then, so we'll see.
NAB is going to be here before we know it.
I know, right? It's how it always goes.
Really,
That's my
really
favorite
fast.
show.
Yeah. Time to start.
You haven't been to Camp Mograph yet.
That's true. That's
Sam.
true.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna have to make the trip.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good. We've
Yeah.
been planning. We're so like if we just have to get it on paper first, and then like we're gonna be like, all right, everyone, this is where it's at.
Dude.
So-
Yeah. I hope it. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be
Yeah.
there.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. You can subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. That helps get our ratings up. And subscribe to our newsletter, which goes out once a month at this point. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Babb Feel the Babb 2020 shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders, also the Render Things hoodie, tee, long sleeve shirt, and the That Render is Fire shirt, which you must wear ironically if you wear it. And
Sure.
we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, Mograph.com. Chad, if people want to find you in all the places, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Chad_GSG. You can find me on Twitter at CGPOV. You can find me on your Slack, the Grayscale Gorilla Connect Slack, the Rocket Lasso Slack, like every Slack,
Every Slack.
basically. A couple of Discords, yeah, all sorts of places.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Until next week, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Chad.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Camp
Oh,
Mograph,
gosh.
where we can learn and play. Come on, flag. Camp Mograph, escape the agency.
I like it.
Spend your time out in
There's
nature.
music
Go
playing
meet a
over you.
pixel pushing teacher.
Nobody can
Hold on.
see you either. We're drowning you out as much as
Camp
possible. Really. That's what it
Mograph,
comes
we're
to.
here for you.
Oh my God.
today.
Make it stop. For the love
Spend
of
some
God.
time with a little wheel. Go run through depths of field.